And good morning to you. He's Mark Hilliard, and he has been our sales manager here, long time here at Renda Broadcasting, and now taking on new duties as the new president of the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Todd.
I feel
kind of odd being in this situation with you this morning.
Yeah, you're usually beside me with a headset on, and we're calling some game somewhere in some sport.
That's right, and maybe that won't change. We'll have to wait and see.
I hope so. Hope we can still do some sports together. But meanwhile, you'll have some new responsibilities. So when is the start date? Do you have that yet?
They've been very gracious for me because, the one thing I did not want to do is leave Renda Broadcasting and my duties here without having some sort of transition. So they gave me enough time, and, officially they said sometime on or before January 15th. Now, my goal is to have it be sooner than that and maybe start shortly after the new year. But, I want to make sure that I leave everything here and all my ducks are in a row at Renda Broadcasting before I head over there because, I've had a lot of great years here and wanted to make sure that, everything is running as smoothly as possible before I leave.
One of the things that we talk about with the Chamber of Commerce is a variety of business experiences. And certainly through your interactions with clients and with others within the broadcast industry, you have that, and you have a basic understanding of what it takes to run a business. And I'm sure that that's one of the things that goes into your hiring with the Chamber of Commerce. That should be a pretty high priority for them.
Yeah, to be honest, that's one of the things I love the most about this job is being able to work with so many different people and help businesses. And in our industry here at the radio station, we're helping businesses to grow by getting their name out there and helping them become top of the mind with consumers. But, it allowed me the chance to really make build a lot of good relationships. And I made a lot of good friends with a lot of people that I've dealt with, not just the business owners, but people in the community and business leaders and community leaders. And it's allowed me to make a lot of connections, and I've really enjoyed that part of the job, and that's something that's going to easily translate over to the new job as the president, because I'm still going to be working with businesses, maybe in a slightly different capacity, but it's still going to be a lot of those same relationships and still doing my best to help those businesses to grow and now hopefully bringing more businesses into town.
It's kind of interesting in marketing, which is what you are in. You'll have a chance to look at it from a couple of different angles. Number one, you'll be marketing Indiana County to prospective businesses, trying to attract them here, trying to show them the opportunities that are available here in Indiana County, and then you're going to turn that around and try to help them market themselves within their own industry. And that has to be particularly exciting to you, be able to apply those sorts of talents to those two different, that seem to be different aspects, but really they're the same thing, aren't they? It's all marketing.
It is, and those were two of the main objectives that I have. Moving forward, obviously, there's some things immediately that the main goal that I have to start out is keeping things running the same way, so that we don't skip a beat with what Jim has done at the chamber, and that same image and that same environment over at the chamber remains the same. But it is all about trying to help our current businesses grow and thrive, and sometimes that means providing them with more education and more training and professional development to be able to learn how to succeed in this market, especially with urban outfitters coming into town and how they can benefit from that. But it's also about trying to market Indiana County, and a lot of things that I hope to do down the road will be to help showcase Indiana County a little bit better. And a lot of people spend a lot of hard work going out to get urban and bringing them here. It'd be nice to have businesses look at Indiana County without all that hard work having to be necessary, and just having Indiana County be showcased enough that people already have us on their radar before they we have to really start digging in and trying to get all the hard work involved to get them here.
It'd be nice to have them know who we are before we have to show them who we are.
As I said, with top of the mind awareness, that's part of the job in marketing here at the radio station, and that's a big part of what I want to do with the chamber as well, is help put us on the radar.
Our conversations with Jim Struzzi and with other legislative leaders as well, the county commissioners, throw them into that mix as well. Folks, over the past year, 2 years, maybe even 3 or 4 years, has been about workforce development here in Indiana County. You can go out and make the shiniest presentation that you possibly could to a prospective company that you're competing with some other area for. and they can come into the area and they can say, wow, this is really nice here. It's a beautiful area, and I can see that you've got the infrastructure pretty well handled. We've got the highways, we've got the sewage, we've got everything that we need, but do we have the people? And do we have people who are skilled in our area of what we do? That has to be and continues to be something that is concerning for folks, but that's a solvable thing, isn't it?
Yeah, Todd, that's one of the main areas that I wanted to focus on as well. I recognize this going back even a year and a half ago or so, just with the businesses that I talked to around the area, and they're not all in the manufacturing industry, although there's a lot. That's one particular industry in this area that has a need for workers, in that field. But in talking with businesses and you ask them what their biggest challenge they're facing, it's always hiring good people and having people that are properly trained for those jobs. And I think that starts in the schools. And, one of the things I really want to do is to help better partner some of the, some of the industries with the schools and to try to prepare our high school students a little bit better for what opportunities may be out there, and talking with our sophomores and juniors, and making sure they understand what those opportunities are, what opportunities are there to train them in high school, and not just with ICTC, although they provide a lot of great opportunities. And the one thing also, that there are some basic skills that I think sometimes our high school students, and I see this with a lot of younger people that come in and interview here, sometimes they're missing some basic skills, just how to do a proper interview and how to conduct themselves. And so there's some basic things there too that hopefully we can work with our school districts to better train these students, better prepare them, because it has to start there. We can't try to take the people who have already been in the workforce. There are opportunities there to train them, and ICTC has just had a manufacturing course that they offer where they got a grant for that, which they were offering it for free for the first 16 people or so that signed up for it. But we have to start with the high schools. We have to get these kids out of school and being better prepared for the workforce. And even though manufacturing is one of those industries right now that has a need, everything's cyclical, so it can change here in the next 10 years, and maybe there'll be more 4-year degrees that'll be necessary with some of these jobs, hopefully coming in Indiana County soon.
We're talking with Mark Hilliard today. Mark has just been named the new president of the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce, going to take over that position in the next month. And we're talking about some of the issues and challenges that are inherent with that particular position. Jim Struzzi has commented a couple of times in recent interviews here in Indiana in the Morning about talking about workforce development and what an odd new world it is in which we live. And it's not Indiana County only, it's every county. Finding people who can pass the drug test is a challenge, and we would never have thought that 10 years ago or 15, but it really is something that I guess it goes to the opioid epidemic, but even recreational use of marijuana and other things like that. Companies look at that, and that has to be part of what we do in terms of training our workforce as well, letting people know there are consequences to that sort of behavior, that it could end up costing you big time. Even if you're able to get away with it from a legal standpoint, it's going to cost you in terms of your job. That's
something that when we talk about education and training and better preparing students in high school, that's where it has to start. But truthfully, a lot of that has to start before you're a junior or a sophomore in high school. That's a lot that in some cases when you're talking about parents and upbringing and being able to better educate students at a younger age, some of that we don't handle at the chamber. We won't be able to necessarily reach all of those parents in terms of that. But I think with the school districts, there are ways to talk to some of those students a little bit younger and let them know the impacts, because that is a problem. And that's, I know talking with Jim, that's a problem he wants to address in Harrisburg as well with the opioid epidemic. But that's something that I think a lot of students, it's a different world that we live in these days. And students have to be better prepared for what those challenges are going to be, and they have to know that that's something that's just not going to be acceptable. So they could be, very well skilled in a certain position, but if they can't stay, away from the drugs and stay clean, it's going to be a long life for them, and it's going to be a difficult challenge for them.
Yeah. So have you been down to the office, kicked Struzzi out of there, said, get up the street, I'm tired of you already?
No, I was down at the office, but I didn't kick him out yet. Yeah, I went down there for a little bit to kind of start getting acclimated a little bit, and I'm going to do that, from time to time over the next couple of weeks as well. But I still have a lot of work to do here at the radio station, so that's my main focus right now is to ensure that everything is prepared as we head into 2019 here at Renda Broadcasting. But I am trying to head down there a little bit.
Yeah. You're going to have to hit the ground running down there because the expo's coming up next month.
We have a great asset down at the Chamber with Jill Mountain, and she is one that's helping to prepare for that right now. And I will give Jim a lot of credit, too, that he and Jill have a lot of things already lined up for the expo. So in knowing that he was going to be leaving and that I was going to be coming in, a lot of things are prepared, so I can't take a lot of credit for that this year, that they're going to have things lined up for me heading into it, which is a blessing because that would be awfully tough to be thrown into that and have to prepare for that in 2 weeks.
All right, well, as long as they understand I need you for the District 6 playoffs, we're good to go.
Mid-February, we'll be ready.
Mark Hilliard, thanks for sharing some time with us. We wish you the best in the job, and, of course, you'll be here on Indiana in the Morning for your monthly appearance as Chamber President, and we'll work closely with you and look forward to it. Thanks, Mark.
I'll look forward to it. Thanks, Todd.
That's Mark Hilliard with us this morning here on Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank, the voice of Indiana County, WCCS AM 1160 and 101.1 FM.